What's up? Welcome back to the channel for another video. So one of my favorite setups to use is my Canon R7 paired with this big old girthy mamma jamma, the Sigma 150 to 600mm contemporary lens. I'll take you through the pros and the cons as well as give you my personal thoughts on this setup. Now, I came across a video the other day with someone talking about pairing this lens with their R7, and I couldn't believe what I was hearing. And I ended up going down a rabbit hole watching video after video talking about this particular setup. And with all the negative things said about him, I wanted to kind of reevaluate my own thoughts. Maybe I was missing something. So first thing that was mentioned in just about every video was that the Sigma 150 to 600C has focus breathing issues, and that they're more noticeable on the R7. Now, this is something that I haven't encountered at all, and something that I would have noticed immediately, especially when it came to shooting motorsports or wildlife. But I thought maybe I was missing something. Did I get a superb version of the lens? Am I super special? No. It just turns out that this was in fact an issue with the lens, not necessarily caused by the pairing, but the lens itself had these problems since release. But after doing a simple Google search, I learned that the issue seemed to be resolved with a firmware update. And the first thing I did when I bought the lens was update the firmware. So, where this is considered a con according to just about every video I watched, my response is download the firmware and see what happens. The next con was a supposed degradation of quality due to being used on a crop sensor camera. Now, I'm gonna be honest, if what I get with this lens is a degraded version of what it's supposed to deliver, then I'll be sure to handle the photos with extreme care because I get some of the sharpest photos I've ever taken with this lens. Not to mention, I've used it on my full frame EOS R and got the exact same quality. Take this photo for example. I took this recently. This little bird was a good 80 or 90 feet away from me. I zoomed all the way into 600mm, which on the R7 is more like 960mm. And to me, this shot is pretty damn sharp. The next con was the weight. Come on now. You buy a super telephoto lens and you expect what? You want a big monster lens like this to weigh as little as a 50mm? What do you really expect here? Not to mention, what does this have to do with the lens being paired with the R7? These were the main three cons that I saw while watching all these different videos. However, the only pros anyone ever mentioned was the focal length while on an APS-C camera. So I'm gonna go ahead and give you my thoughts on what I think the pros and cons are. First, my cons. With this lens being paired with the R7, you automatically lose a stop of light due to the crop that's on the camera. However, when using this for wildlife, it doesn't matter much because for the most part, it gets used during daylight hours. For me, that's the only con. Well, besides my own personal issues like I don't have a filter that fits it. Now for the pros. This pairing of the Canon R7 and the Sigma 150 to 600mm gives you the ability to zoom in and get shots you normally couldn't get from long distances. Like I said, technically this lens's max focal length is 960 due to the 1.6 times crop on the R7. Then there's the autofocus. Combined with the speed of the R7's autofocus, the two work in unison and quickly, not only to focus, but it grabs focus and sticks onto the subject with little to no effort on your part. And then the last pro is the price. This lens, brand new, is somewhere around $1,000. And paired with the Canon R7, this setup is only around $2,500, brand new. That's not a bad price at all. And it's even better if you already have an R7 and you grab this lens used. In the end, this pairing has a lot of uses. And there are pros and cons for every photographer. It really comes down to your shooting style. You know, whether or not you upgrade the firmware and how you use this setup to your advantage. I'm sure if I really looked for cons, I could find something. But when you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. So those are my thoughts on this setup. I'm a huge fan of this pairing and I use it so much that I always make sure I have them both when going out to shoot. But what do you think? Have you used this setup? And if so, what did you use it for? And do you agree or disagree with me? Let me know down in the comments. So if you enjoyed this video, make sure to smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and click the bell so you never miss a new video. Also visit my website jeff-gresham.com to pick up my brand new Lightroom presets pack, featuring 13 presets that I personally use for all my projects, and it's only $10. And until next time, get out and shoot, and I'll see you in the next video.